Hope you guys are having a fantastic Thursday. We're going to be reacting to a video. What is up, Finn fans? Yes, if you could tell by the title, I am reacting to Alex Rollins' how Tua Tagovailoa completely turned around his career. So many of you guys hit me up, not only in the comment section, but on Twitter, and told me to check out Alex's video. Now, from what I'm hearing, and I don't know how much of this is true, we'll hear about it in the video, but I'm hearing that Alex was a big, skeptic of Tua. And for him to come out with this video, supposedly he's big. So we're going to react to it, but real quick, I got some good news. Now, if you guys remember, on Monday, I gave away 3 sets of 2 tickets. So to 3 different people, you won 2 tickets. And 400 and something of you guys signed up. And like I said, 3 of you guys won. Well, it just so happens that my man David Gafford, who recently joined the membership, or was it the Patreon? I know he joined one of them, which, thank you so much, just donated 2 more tickets. So to the people who already signed up, I am going to be doing a drawing tomorrow. So if you want to somehow still sign up, go in the description. I will relink the sign up sheet if you haven't yet already. But tomorrow, I'm going to be picking another person to win another 2 tickets to the Dolphins taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Thank you, David, for donating these 2 preseason tickets. So again, you're going to know you won before the video comes out, and that will be for tomorrow. So you have up until tonight to sign up. Link is in the description. So let's jump into this. And of course, I'm going to link Alex's YouTube channel in the description. You can go check out the video there. Go show him some support. And let's, like I said before, I'm going to scoot, and we're going to watch this video together. Beautiful.
The first 2 seasons of the Tua Tagovailoa era were ugly.
Yeah.
His numbers were anemic. He feuded with his coach. When it was bad, it's 'cause it was really bad. He was actually winning games, but you could tell he was losing his confidence. He had a lot of skill, but we weren't seeing any of it. I declared him done.
Yeah.
But when you build around your quarterback and accentuate that skill, Tua has exploded, proved me wrong, and did it by leaning into the last thing you'd ever think would turn his career around, throwing vertical. He went from an 8 and 7.5 yard average depth of target his first 2 seasons, which hovered around the 25th.
I want to say real quick, because he touched on a very good point when he talked about this is what happens when you build around your quarterback. And that is a stigma now, right? That is a yeah, but for Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa, like Alex is talking about, showed up this year. First 2 years, kind of anemic. He would win, but, some games he wouldn't do too great. I could talk about a few in 2021. But last year, he comes out, he lights it up, and it's the yeah, but. Yeah, but they had to build a system around him. What quarterback don't you build a system around? When does it become a thing that you're a good quarterback because you play in a system you're not comfortable in? Every quarterback who does well is put in a system they're comfortable with. Why do you think Aaron Rodgers chose the Jets? It's because they run the system he's comfortable with, and they got his offensive coordinator. Oh, yeah, but it's because he has weapons. Oh, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Should I keep going? Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. Let's keep going. Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill at the time. You put weapons for any quarterback. The point of winning isn't to say, oh, we drafted a top 10 quarterback. Now let's see if he can win with nothing. That'll show he's a top 10 quarterback. That's not what. So I'm glad he said it.
5th to 35th range, but this year jumped all the way up to 10.1, which was 10th. He threw for a league-high 1,664 passing yards when targeting vertical routes, which was 250 more than anybody else in the league. For a quarterback who's not known for his arm strength, suddenly he couldn't stop throwing vertically and crushing when he did. In the past, we talked about how inept Dolphins coaching staff shoehorned him into throwing deep outside, but now he throws the large majority of these vertical routes over the middle, which is risky and really unheard of. His exceptional processing and anticipation are two traits I identified coming out in college, but never saw much of at all thus far in the league. Now, those are the foundations of how Mike McDaniel utilizes him in this offense and how he's able to attack vertically over the middle. That processing and anticipation are his greatest strengths, where here the Bills get a free runner at him, but he makes an insane anticipation throw to beat their blitz. The Dolphins are running this quick post concept, which really shouldn't be open against a too-high look with one of the safeties, Damar Hamlin, pretty shallow, but post-snap they roll into one high. They're doing a great job disguising, usually in one high safety coverage.
So I guess he can read defenses. I just listen to the man. And again, he was a skeptic. Just listen to the man.
One of them rotates down with the motion, so they're not out leveraged, but they're able to hold their disguise, so it looks like the post won't be open. However, they roll Hamlin down, who screams out of the roof, but the moment he does, Tua rifles it into this little pocket up the seam.
So people call that a spot throwing, but he knows where his guy's going to be. That's just being a quarterback. He's running a post route. Damar Hamlin's jumping down. The safety's going to go over the top. He's going to have that gap in between Damar Hamlin coming down and the other safety going over the top, essentially giving away a single high safety. So he has that gap, and he drops it in the bucket.
He's not waiting to see where Hamlin goes. He's throwing before he gets there. His intimate understanding of defensive coverages and defenders' responsibilities help him win before things play out. He knows the moment Jordan Poyer shifts to the middle of the field, that means they're playing one high, so Hamlin becomes an underneath defender. One proof Tua knows, the moment he releases, look where Hamlin is. He could easily just sit down and stay right in the window, but because Tua knows the coverage rules in and out, he rips them up deep. To take it a step further and really look at what kind of confidence he was playing with, look at Alec Ingold turn around as the hot receiver, knowing their protection is getting overloaded. He turns and looks at Tua immediately because he knows the Bills have fooled him up front, but conversely now are scrambling to cover everybody down below. Tua knows he has him wide open, but dials up the much more challenging throw. He is awesome at finding the one key defender who determines where he'll throw. If that guy does A, Tua throws to B, and vice versa. QBs who don't process as well often read the wrong defenders, which ruins the play. To help Tua even better find his key defender pre-snap, the Dolphins use motion the most in the NFL. It helps him identify its zone coverage here, since nobody is chasing Mike Gesicki across the formation. Tua knows with 2 deep safeties, the Browns have 5 underneath defenders, so 3 will go up top, which leaves only 2 for Tyreek Hill and Trent Sherfield.
I'm trying not to, but I'm getting so excited. This is just making me feel so excited to watch this season, because if he can continue this development, and this is something that I've broken down all last year in the film breakdowns, right? And there are people, and there's, people who hate on Tua, or people who, the skeptics, I'm with you, right? I have no problem. It's just the constant hate. He can't read defenses. He's a spot thrower. He doesn't anticipate anything. He's horrible. It's just spewing nonsense that isn't true. And having an unbiased guy come out who was also very against Tua his first 2 years, come out and show all of this stuff is like, okay, I'm not crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because you see certain people and you're like, how do you not see what I'm seeing? Am I crazy? No, because I can name countless NFL former players, experts, and now an unbiased source right here showing to you guys what I have shown you guys. And it reassures me I'm not crazy, and it also makes me very excited to see this season because, like you said, he's showing, okay, I think we ran motions like 20 times more than the next team. Like, I think we were at like 47% or so, and then the next team below us was at like 16%. Like, it was like something ridiculous, huge number gap. You got your guy motioning, and I talked about this against the Detroit Lions, and I hope he shows that play. We ran the same play 3 times, Tyreek Hill in motion 3 times, and 2 of the times they followed Tyreek Hill, and then the 3rd time they didn't, he threw it to him, first down, we won the game. It's just, I'm trying not to get excited because I want to win. This could be, the quarterback could be anybody, and for this video, it just gets you excited for the season.
They're running a gaudy concept, a go with an option route, and with the Browns kinda screwing up their cover 2 zone defense with Grant Delpit playing too far inside, likely because all they do is throw vertically inside, Tua knows Martin Emerson Jr. is his key defender. With Greg Newsome leverage inside to Tyreek, he'll break out, and if Emerson Jr. sits underneath in cover 2 like he's supposed to, the sideline shot will be open. But when Emerson Jr. does a good job by kind of playing it in between, where he's basically guarding both, Tua sees the hesitation and aggressively bombs him over the top. This is a confidence that we hadn't seen before, which is one of the primary...
In the snow in December, Tua can't play well. This game proved it wrong.
Ingredients he was missing. Processing and anticipation without confidence don't get you anywhere. Those are mental traits. And if you don't trust them, or yourself, well, we saw what happened the first 2 seasons. Yes, McDaniel had a lot to...
I wish he wasn't off against the 49ers, because the 49er game wasn't that no one was open. It wasn't the defense. It wasn't the scheme. Tua was just so off in that game. If you go back and watch the live stream, I was like, what is going on with him? He was so off in that game.
To do with the turnaround. When targeting vertical routes, Tua had a receiver with 3+ yards of separation
Looks
on
off the
43% of his attempts.
Throws it perfectly.
That was 12.
He does it, and I've broken this down thousands of times. And again, if you want to watch the full video without me constantly stopping, he sees that the safety's on the right hash mark. He knows he's got Tyreek Hill on a streak. He needs to freeze this safety because of Tyreek Hill's speed for 2 seconds, if that, just so Tyreek can beat his guy and then he can drop it in the breadbasket.
And that's what he does. Separation on 43% of his attempts. That was 12.8% higher than the next closest quarterback. But it certainly wasn't all scheme. Tua's confidence was just as important.
Exactly.
The Dolphins faced zone coverage at a top 5 rate in the league, since nobody wanted to try and guard Tyreek and Jalen Waddle one-on-one. Because of all that zone, they often got receivers on linebackers, but defenses adjusted. This is McDaniel's bingo concept, which is a post and a dig. Sione Taki knows not to run too fast towards Tyreek or Sherfield because he can't beat him in a foot race. He wants to more catch them and let them come to him. Well, despite Sherfield running the dig, he and Tua both see this is happening, so he sits down, and Tua's already releasing the ball by the time he does. McDaniels trusts him with these type of concepts because he knows he can squeeze the ball into tight windows where other quarterbacks wouldn't be able to.
But I've heard he's got accuracy issues because his completion percentage went down. But there's a lot of things that go into completion percentage that isn't just accuracy.
This is that quick post concept again that we saw earlier. I haven't really seen it too often around the league. Actually, my friend Bobby Peters helped me find all the times they ran it with his 2022 Dolphins offensive manual he wrote. I'll link it below. He does the best work. And really, Tua is making throws like these that are open technically, but other quarterbacks wouldn't even attempt. This example is his brilliance with an assist from McDaniel. In a nickel defense which has 5 defensive backs, 2 safeties, and 2 corners outside, the 5th DB is the nickel corner who lines up to the strength of the offense. Since they know they're getting zoned, they motion to switch the strength. The 49ers don't typically follow their nickel, so now they're dealing with linebacker Dre Greenlaw, who's no slouch, but isn't as quick as Jimmy Ward. Tua pump fakes to freeze Fred Warner and get him to jump over a step, then rips this right in between Greenlaw in a tight window.
I love the way Tua manipulates defenses. Like, that is, to me, the biggest jump I've seen from Tua from year 1 to 2 to 3. Is the way Tua now has that confidence, and he has even more now going into year 2 of the same offense, but he has that confidence that he knows what he's doing. Like Alex is talking about. He's reading the defenses. He's seeing how the corners are playing to the outside or the inside more. He's seeing, okay, I'm going to throw it in this crossing route. I got to pump to bring that safety over. Like, I just love it.
That's a thing of beauty. You can see Greenlaw here and Fred Warner. Tua shows his eyes to the right and then pumps to get Fred to jump.
Whoop.
Then when he comes back, usually you're not pumping to one side then coming back to the quick post seam. You just don't have time, and Greenlaw knows it. He takes like a half step towards the underneath routes, and Tua whizzes it just by him. The anticipation to throw receivers open is what makes him special.
How can you watch this and think Tua's a bad quarterback? How can you watch this film breakdown and think that he doesn't have the potential to be a very good quarterback? I don't understand it.
Processing too, and the confidence he displayed throwing vertically was just awesome to watch. On 3rd and 7, the Texans are showing 7 pressure defenders for just 5 blockers, so he's on high alert. He knows the Texans play a ton of cover 2 zone defense, and just by looking at the numbers where they have 2 defenders for 3 receivers, he knows at least one of these on-the-ball guys will have to drop out, which gives him enough in protection and time to operate. He knows defenses that play linebackers close to the ball are at a disadvantage since they have to turn their back to run. So when the second level screams over to guard the 3 receiver side, with a guy in his face, he rips it backdoor and throws it into the open space. This is all well and good. He looked awesome in so many different moments last season, but there are still some worries. Even though this is basically an apology video, we know defense is adjusted.
Yes.
Later in the game with cover 2 zone again, they want to hit that backside dig, but the Will linebacker just shaded back inside towards it, and they were snuffed out. This might seem like nothing, some little throwaway example, but it was a precursor to what happened on Sunday Night Football.
And this is why I wanted to react to this, right? I've been praising Tua. I've been talking about how I'm excited about Tua. I wonder if people who don't like Tua made it to this point in the video because of how much I am praising and pumping up Tua and how I'm excited. But I'm very glad Alex is going to talk about hopefully the 3 games where he was bad, because it needs to be talked about so we can see where the things have changed and what he can do. Because if you think that Mike McDaniel is going into this season and not making these changes, you're out of your mind, right? I've heard people say, well, the tape is out there now. They know how to stop this offense. You think Mike McDaniel's not trying to change it even more?
Well, week 14, where the Chargers baffled Tua and McDaniel, held him to 17 points, 10 completions on 28 pass attempts. Yeah, that's 35%, and just 5.2 yards per attempt.
Horrible game by Tua.
Staley identified how often they were throwing vertically over the middle, or over the middle in general, and dared Tua to throw outside breaking routes where he struggled. Staley realized he was first in EPA passing in between the numbers, but outside the numbers, he was 22nd. The next week, he had a solid game in Buffalo like we saw in that first example, so it's not like everything was toast all of a sudden, but then he got concussed against Green Bay and was done. I'm not trying to cover my tracks and say I wasn't wrong about him, because I was. But we also have to be honest with ourselves. There is definitely some cause for concern.
100%.
These defensive adjustments are an obvious one. The concussions are a big one.
Yep.
It was awful watching him go down each time he did.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's a thing of the past. But looking at the defensive adjustments from a football perspective, Mike McDaniel is too smart to not adjust this upcoming season.
Exactly.
Dolphins are insanely talented with Reek and Waddle. But we also have to acknowledge some of Tua's very real limitations that haven't left him. When your game is based on elite anticipation and processing, but subpar arm strength, you have to be perfect every single time, which is really hard in the NFL. Houston actually tricks him here, where usually a cornerback following a receiver tells him it's man coverage, but this time it goes against him. With the Finns again running this quick vertical post with Tyreek, instead of releasing it right as he's coming out of his break, the tricky coverage fools Tua, and he lets it go too late. This is a completion for most quarterbacks, at least in terms of their arm strength. There's a decent amount of room up the middle of the field here, but his lack of arm strength turns this into a hospital ball and an incompletion. You'll also see it when he doesn't have his full base under him. When he's off platform, he's not really going to generate that real torque. When he's all arm, he's just not going to get a lot of mustard on the ball. arm strength is not his thing, and it's not going to get any better. These type of plays will happen here and there. You really see it when he's attacking outside the numbers more, which is why his stats aren't very good out there, and why these vertical routes are on the shorter side rather than bombs to the perimeter. But at the same time, who cares?
And that's why, if you notice, like with those last two plays, his feet, like he had pressure on him with that 49er pass to the outside to Jalen Waddle. His feet were like, and I think Kurt Warner talked about this, were just completely open. And that's the difference between Tua and Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and stuff. Because Josh Allen could be running to his right and rocket that thing like 40 yards without having to set his feet. You saw Patrick Mahomes falling, rocketing it. That's the difference between him and the, you know, the elite arms and Tua.
Not every quarterback is perfect, and Mike McDaniel is elite at scheming an offense catered exactly to his quarterback's strengths, and Tua has some elite ones. He processes coverage pre- and post-snap with ease, and his anticipation of where the voids in the defense are is top-notch. Sprinkle in some confidence, Tyreek and Waddle don't hurt either, and Tua Tagovailoa proved me absolutely wrong.
Great video. Alex, I couldn't have said it better myself, my man. Go check him out. Subscribe to his channel. You saw he does some great work. Alex Rollins NFL. Go check him out. The breakdown, fantastic. I love that you touched upon his strengths. You showed his strengths, but you didn't forget. You know, it was kind of an apology video, but you also were like, but he still has his limitations, and you showed this Chargers game, which if you guys notice when I did my good bad with Tua, I showed you the good, but I also showed you the bad, and there were bad last year. The 49ers game was a bad game. He had guys open, he had passes he should have made, and he didn't. The Chargers game was bad last year. Alex showed it. They essentially dared him to throw to the outside. He couldn't play on his feet, couldn't get the ball out there. Messed it up. And then the second half of the Packers game was bad, through 3 interceptions, costing the Dolphins the game. Very good breakdown. But it does, seeing the first half and seeing how well he does, and hopefully he can grow and then kind of, you know, push away the bad games. They're going to happen. They're going to happen. I've seen Josh Allen have bad games. The Patriots lost to the Colts last year. Patrick Mahomes had bad games. Joe Burrow threw 4 interceptions against the Steelers. Bad games are going to happen. It's just, don't chain them together, and then don't have them be like, I'm trying to think of the word I want to say, like, not like a stupid reason, but you know what I'm saying? Like, the 49ers game, that shouldn't have been a bad game. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like he was in his head, like a funk. But Alex, fantastic video. Love to have you on if you are available. We could chat more about Miami Dolphins and all that good stuff. But go subscribe to his channel. Fantastic breakdown. I'll see you guys tomorrow. The vets respond. Hey, yeah, we'll come. The report on Tuesday. And then, like I said, I'm thinking, you know, it's a day or two of them doing activities and stuff, and then probably like the 20th, 29th, they'll start doing on-field stuff. I'll give you the full breakdown when I do my training camp preview video on Monday. But tomorrow, I have another video planned for you guys, kind of talking about the weak points of the team going into camp, and also I will talk about who won the tickets. So I got 2 more tickets to give away. So comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.